Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms. I would like to welcome everyone back here to the channel on YouTube.com. You already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. Of course, I am the top of the line in wrestling analytics. This is the Lightning Flash update for July 6th, 2018. I hope everyone had a great 4th of July. Hope you ate a lot of burgers, you watched a lot of fireworks, played with a lot of sparklers, and I hope each and every single one of my American fans out there are proud to be a member of this country. Now, time to get back into the swing of things for me. I actually have some interesting news on a possible title change at SummerSlam, but we're going to talk about that later. Right now, we're going to get into the weekly show reviews. Do I really need to talk about Raw? I feel like, I already did that. I already did that with my second annual Storm stream on Tuesday with Devin Crawley. Shout out to him if you want to go follow him on social media. His Twitter is @reallycringy. Cringy spelt Cringey. And on Instagram @Wrestle97. No underscore, no spaces, no nothing. Wrestle97. But we already talked about Raw. I already gave you my thoughts on that. So we're going to dive right into Smackdown to start off this week's Lightning Flash update. It was the better of the two shows, by the way, obviously. Smackdown Live started off with Team Hell No. Team Hell No kicked off the show. Bryan basically brought back the memories he was trying to, tell Kane that, you did tombstone me on the floor and the announce table and the steel steps, and you tried to end my career, and you abducted my wife. Obviously, we had that Team Hell No bickering that we always remembered back in the day. The Usos actually interrupted, and they were kind of getting underneath Team Hell No's skin, saying like, you get a tag team title opportunity because you hugged it out. And they hugged 4 times and said, you know what, now we get some tag team title opportunities. Obviously, Paige came out and made a match, and if the Usos won, they would have been added to the tag team title scene, and it would have been a triple threat match between Team Hell No, the Bludgeon Brothers, and the Usos for the titles. And then we had Jeff Hardy's U.S. Open Challenge, and I'm glad that they're continuing the U.S. Open Challenge. This was Hardy's 4th title defense. And The Miz answered this time. I would have taken Ty Dillinger, but The Miz answered, and we knew it was going to be a great match, and that's exactly what it was. It was a great match for SmackDown Live, and Jeff Hardy won like he should have. He defeated The Miz for the United States Championship. He retained his U.S. title, and later on in the evening, it was made official that Hardy will face Nakamura. And realistically, that plus the Iron Man match with Rollins and Ziggler, plus AJ versus Rusev, on paper, those are realistically the only 3 matches on Extreme Rules that are pretty much going to make the show watchable. Because, I don't really see too much coming out of Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax again, even if it's Extreme Rules, or Carmella versus Asuka, or the Leaders of Worlds versus the B-Team. Now, I ultimately could be proven wrong, which I hope that's the case. I hope I'm proven wrong. But we're going to see how all of that plays out. But realistically, Jeff and Nakamura, Ziggler and Rollins, and AJ Rusev are pretty much going to make the entire show. Because you think Roman and Lashley are going to put on a halfway decent match? Bobby Lashley's done nothing, and Roman Reigns has already had 4 of the worst matches of the year. I can expect a 5th one in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But moving on, New Day had a pancake eating contest, which was interrupted by Sanity, in which I was hoping was going to happen. And Sanity just wreaked havoc, wreaked chaos. We had a beautiful elbow drop to Xavier Woods through the table. Kofi got cut in half. Kofi got cut in half by Killian Dane, and I don't know if Kofi was just selling, but that divide, that running crossbody on Kofi Kingston looked brutal. But that happened, great way, and great way to keep momentum for Sanity, and great way to use the segment correctly. Asuka versus Ellsworth. This was really the only thing on the show that was the down point of the show. Asuka versus Ellsworth, that ended in a double DQ, and then Carmella attacked. You know, I didn't care. No one did. Asuka needs to win the title, and if Asuka does not win the title at Extreme Rules, we're going to have a problem. We are going to have a serious problem. Moving on in the back, there was a pep talk between Daniel Bryan and Kane basically apologized to Daniel Bryan and said, you know, I'm sorry for everything that has happened, but we need to focus because together we're unstoppable. And Daniel Bryan threw the papers away. He got hyped up with the yes chant. Later on, we had AJ Styles versus Aiden English. This one went very fast. And what was the important thing about this is what happened after the match. Or before and after the match. Styles and Rusev kind of went back and forth a little bit. Rusev said that he's going to knock down AJ Styles' door. He's going to take the WWE title, and it's going to be all on Rusev Day. AJ said, this isn't a rental house. This is the house that AJ Styles built, and I am the WWE champion. So it's not going to be an easy task. But AJ Styles defeated Aiden English. Rusev then attacked and put AJ in the Accolade in the ring. So Rusev is looking strong. I don't know what happened, but ever since after Backlash, they have been booking Rusev incredibly strong with wins over Daniel Bryan, wins over Samoa Joe. He was in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and now they're giving him a WWE Championship title match at Extreme Rules against AJ Styles, of all people. So, good on WWE for giving Rusev the proper opportunity. I don't think Rusev is going to win. It would be a shocker if he did. It would be a crazy shocker if he did, but I don't think he's going to win. So next week, Asuka versus Ellsworth was announced for a lumberjack match. So that is going to be the piss break match for next week on SmackDown. You know, they really got to take Ellsworth off of television. Ellsworth, I have some fans that actually find Ellsworth funny and entertaining. You got to open your eyes. Ellsworth is not funny. Ellsworth is not entertaining. Ellsworth is not comedically funny, or whatever the hell you want to call it. Whatever the hell you come up with, Ellsworth is not anything positive. He's bringing the show down. Asuka needs to win the title. Ellsworth needs to get out of here. And they need to start picking up the pace and push more of the young talent. Push guys like Dillinger. I really want to see Dillinger versus Hardy for the U.S. title. And if Hardy hosts a U.S. title open challenge next week, have Dillinger accept it. I would really like to see that. Then we had Becky Lynch defeating Peyton Royce. It was a decent match, and I expected Becky to win. Becky's on a win streak, and I actually pitched the idea of having Becky Lynch versus Asuka at SummerSlam a while back. So hopefully, if Asuka wins the title and Carmella is taken out of the title picture, we could very well get it. Then in the main event, Team Hell No defeated the Usos. This was actually a good match for what it was. It went fairly quick, but it was still pretty good. Team Hell No, obviously, they were using some double team work. Obviously, the Usos came back with a couple of super kicks. They were going for the double splash, but Kane caught him. He threw, I believe it was Jay, into the running knee by Daniel Bryan, and then Kane chokeslammed Jimmy for the win. And afterwards, the Bludgeon Brothers came out and stared him down. Also, before the main event, I actually skipped over this. Nakamura, using the cell phone, obviously doing the whole cell phone promo shtick that everyone on SmackDown has been doing. And he was basically going on about how he's going to take Jeff Hardy's pride, he's going to take his honor, and he's going to take his United States Championship. I hope that's what happens. Because I would love to see Nakamura with any championship at this rate. He deserves it. 205 Live. 205 Live, man. One of my followers actually tweeted, if you are not watching 205 Live, you are living life wrong. And I wholeheartedly believe that. And shout out to whoever said that. I forgot. I didn't write it down. I should have. But next week, we got Cedric versus Itami for the Cruiserweight title, which I've been wanting for a long, long time now. I actually originally pitched that match to happen at WrestleMania, but we got Cedric and Mustafa. I'm glad we're getting this match. Noam Dar returned to 205 Live, so he's pulling double duty like Mark Andrews did. He's going to be on 205 Live and the WWE UK brand. He defeated TJP out of nowhere within 10 seconds. TJP obviously not happy. I'm very interested to see where Noam Dar goes. Maybe they give him a Cruiserweight title opportunity. Because I know that he's not going to win the UK title from Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne is too hot. The only two people that I see taking the title off of Pete Dunne at this rate are Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. But that's just me. That's just how I feel about the whole situation. Akira Tozawa then defeated a jobber, and the man of the hour, the 23-year-old piece of gold, Lio Rush, observed everything. He cut a promo afterwards, and he basically called Tozawa out for not really doing anything since he won the Cruiserweight Championship. And Lio Rush basically went on and on, saying that, you know something? Next time, step into the ring with me and feel the rush. So, Akira Tozawa versus Lio Rush, that is a Cruiserweight Championship match made in heaven. So, if that's going to be Lio Rush's first feud, it is going to be a damn good one. So, good on Triple H for putting Akira Tozawa and Lio Rush in a program. I can't wait to see that match. In the main event, and let me tell you something. 205 Live, each and every week, steps it up with their main events. 205 Live, each and every single week, outdoes their main events. Each and every single week, they get better and better and better and better. Matter of fact, this match went 22 minutes, and it was better than anything on Monday Night Raw. And I'm even including the tag team match with Ambrose, or not Ambrose. I keep on thinking about Ambrose because I want him to return. Rollins, Reigns, Ziggler, and McIntyre. I'm even including that. This match was 1,000 times better than that. This was a fantastic match. Mustafa Ali versus Buddy Murphy in a no disqualification match. If you have not watched this match, you have not lived life as a wrestling fan. This match was a fantastic ending to their feud. If you've seen their first 3 matches, you knew it was going to be good. I knew it was going to be good. I did not think it was going to be this good. Matter of fact, it was so good that Dave Meltzer actually gave it 4.5 stars. Meltzer knows what's up. Meltzer definitely knows what's up. And let me tell you something. The match that made me a believer in Mustafa Ali was him versus Drew Gulak in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Actually, it's coming up on its 1-year anniversary. Almost 1 year ago. On July 18th, it will be 1 year. That was the day in which Mustafa Ali made me a believer in him. Now, I can wholeheartedly say, give Mustafa Ali the Universal Championship right now. If you watch this match, and you see everything that both men put into this match, Buddy Murphy and Mustafa Ali, they tore the house down. I'm telling you, if they keep on doing some of the stuff that they keep on doing, I swear one of them is going to legitimately get put in a hospital bed. That's how brutal some of these moves were that they were doing, and that's how much energy, and that's how much blood, sweat, and tears they gave into this match. Mustafa Ali doing a superplex aided by the steel steps, the bottom part of the steel steps, not the top. Buddy Murphy brought in the bottom part of the steel steps, and he was set up on the top rope. Mustafa Ali climbed up on the top of the bottom part of the steel steps, and he superplexed Buddy Murphy off the top rope, off of the steps. It was like a 9 or 10 foot drop. And this is how smooth Mustafa Ali is. The steps did not move. They did not move. Stayed perfectly upright. Didn't even wobble. I said Mustafa Ali's the AJ Styles of 205 Live. Right now, that proved me that he has a bit of Seth Rollins in him. He's got a dash of Seth Rollins. He's got Seth Rollins' untouchable in-ring ability. He's got AJ Styles' smoothness and leadership. And what he did in this match, he got tied up in the ropes and he took knee after knee from Buddy Murphy. And he kicked out. And then he won with a Hurricane Rana DDT off of the bottom part of the steel steps that spiked Buddy Murphy head first into the mat, that I thought he got a concussion, and he won. He has a bit of Daniel Bryan. He's got that babyface aspect of Daniel Bryan. He's got the in-ring ability of Rollins, the leadership and smoothness of AJ Styles, and the babyface aspect of Daniel Bryan all rolled up into one. I am ashamed that Mustafa Ali is reduced to a cruiserweight. They need to take the 205 weight gap off, and they need to mix him in, because Mustafa Ali proved to me that he is worthy of the Universal Championship. Give Brock Lesnar Mustafa Ali, and have Mustafa Ali go over. That's an idea for you. Mustafa Ali won. Now, where do we go from here? That was the end of the Buddy Murphy-Mustafa Ali feud. We got Cedric versus Itami next week. I can see Cedric winning. Itami will be Cruiserweight champion in the future, but not now. Not now. I could see Cedric winning. And if it was up to me, I would actually put Drew Gulak in front of him next. Because aside from Mustafa Ali, Drew Gulak is the man that's been making the second strongest case as to why he should be challenging for the Cruiserweight Championship. He's tapped out each and every single member of the Lucha House Party. He won a 6-man elimination tag team match for his team by tapping out Kalisto. He's been on a roll. I don't think he's been pinned since April. I almost said August. I don't think he's been pinned since April. Why not have Drew Gulak attack Cedric after Cedric beats Hideo Itami? That way you can set up for Drew Gulak versus Cedric Alexander in the next few weeks of 205 Live, and then you can have a WrestleMania rematch against Mustafa Ali at SummerSlam, and you can have Mustafa Ali be the one to defeat Cedric, and Mustafa goes over. So that's what I think they should do. But phenomenal match. Great storytelling. Mustafa Ali needs to be in the Universal Championship picture, so I hope they take the 205 Live weight limit off in the future. And I can see Mustafa Ali becoming Cruiserweight Champion at SummerSlam. But you gotta go watch this match. NXT. This was a great episode of NXT. It started off with Dakota Kai in a match against Santana Garrett. It wasn't really anything special. It was quick and easy. Dakota Kai defeated Santana Garrett. That was that. The Mighty actually injured Tucker Knight. Heavy Machinery was working out in the Performance Center earlier in the day, and Otis Dojovic went to check on some steaks that they were grilling. So he had the cell phone, and he was walking back. He was like, "Oh yeah, gotta check on these steaks. Make sure they're nice and juicy and rare. That's how I like them. I like them thick and juicy and rare." And then all of a sudden you hear some chains rattling, and he goes back, and he sees that the Mighty have taken out Tucker Knight. So he actually goes it alone later on in the night against them in a handicap match. Shayna Baszler then basically addressed the crowd in Full Sail. She trashed the women's division, and obviously she is great at cutting promos. Shayna Baszler, I love the intensity in Shayna Baszler, and I can't wait to see Shayna Baszler versus Kairi Sane at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 4 when I'm there live. The Undisputed Era were backstage. They basically trashed Danny Burch. This led to William Regal actually making the official challenge from Danny Burch, because Danny Burch challenged Adam Cole to a match next week, and William Regal made it official. So we got Danny Burch versus Adam Cole next week. In 3 weeks, actually, we got Aleister Black versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship. So you can imagine how good that's going to be. And then the Mighty defeated Otis Dojovic in what was a good match. You know, not a lot of handicap matches in WWE are really good. I mean, the last good handicap match that I could remember was, on the main roster specifically, was AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn at the Royal Rumble of this year. But NXT has already had 2 great handicap matches this year already. One with Ricochet and Velveteen Dream versus Lars Sullivan, and now the Mighty versus Otis Dojovic. And the Mighty win. So the Mighty, they're ranking up some wins. Kairi Sane versus Vanessa Bourne is actually next week as well. We had the Velveteen Dream versus Chris Dijak, Donovan Dijak, and he's got this new gimmick where he basically goes, feast your eyes on this freak of nature, and that's what Chris Dijak is. He's a freak of nature. He was tossing Velveteen Dream all over the ring. Velveteen Dream ended up tripping up Dijak, and Dijak went forehead first into the steps. And then Velveteen Dream won with that Sister Abigail-like DDT. Afterwards, he was actually interrupted by EC3. And EC3 was getting set for his match with Johnny Gargano. Also, next week, we also have Mustache Mountain versus the Undisputed Era in an NXT Tag Team title rematch. That should also be good. Black will also speak next week. Obviously, he's going to address Tommaso Ciampa and the title defense against Ciampa that's going to take place in a few weeks. In the main event, Johnny Gargano versus EC3. This was a great match, and these guys were only given 11 minutes. These guys were only given 11 minutes, and it was better than everything. It was better than everything on WWE television this week, minus the no disqualification match between Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy. They poured everything into the 11 minutes that this match was. EC3 pouring out things that I've never seen EC3 do before since he got to NXT. EC3 took Johnny Gargano's head off with a wicked lariat, and you heard it. It was like the crack of a whip. Then we had Johnny Gargano locking the Gargano escape, which was reversed by EC3 into a sit-out powerbomb. And I love the story that they're telling you with Gargano. Gargano's psychological breaking point. EC3 sat up after the powerbomb, and Gargano saw him. He's like seething with anger, breathing heavily. His eyes were all scrunched up, and he looked like he was getting ready to kill him. And he basically just grounded and pounded on EC3, put him in the Gargano escape, and he actually defeated EC3 with that same draping DDT that he was defeated by at NXT TakeOver Chicago when Tommaso Ciampa DDT'd him on the wood. The storytelling that they're telling with Gargano, and Ciampa, he wasn't even on the show. He wasn't even on the show, but you had the visual and the aspect. You felt the presence of the darkness that is Tommaso Ciampa, and you had the announcers hyping it up. Nigel McGuinness is basically going, Johnny Gargano has become what he hates. I can see Gargano interfering in Black vs. Ciampa in a couple weeks. I cannot wait to see where this goes. And I'm not really too mad about EC3 losing, because EC3 can take a few losses. He's ultimately going to end up being where Velveteen Dream, Aleister Black, and Ricochet are right now. Due to a report by PW Insider and a few spoilers, it's going to be EC3 versus Velveteen Dream at TakeOver Brooklyn 4, so that should be a treat. That wraps up the weekly show reviews. Now onto the news, rumors, and reports. We're going to start off the news, rumors, and reports with a report from Mike Johnson of PW Insider. He reports that the Authors of Pain will win the Raw Tag Team titles from Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. I like this decision because the Authors of Pain are well overdue for a tag team title feud. They have proven to me that they deserve a run at the Raw Tag Team titles, but not just yet. Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, they're going to get through the B Team first, and then we will have Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus the Authors of Pain at SummerSlam. Those are one of the matches that I actually picked for SummerSlam. I originally thought it was going to be Ziggler and McIntyre, but I will take the Authors of Pain. My next report is a shout out to Mr. Slice Wrestling. Go follow him on Twitter at Slice Wrestling. And I quote, this is one of his tweets from earlier this week. Update. There has been no resolution in the Daniel Bryan WWE contract situation. As up to this point, Bryan has yet to sign a new contract. Both sides are continuing negotiations as Daniel Bryan's WWE contract ends September 2018. Daniel Bryan, please sign. I want to see that WWE Championship match with The Miz. Please. Next. I got a report from Dave Meltzer. He actually believes and he said this on the Wrestling Observer newsletter radio show, he believes that WWE is trying to protect Drew McIntyre by pairing him with Dolph Ziggler, which ultimately is not really a bad idea because Drew McIntyre, he can't really go off on his own right now, because if you're going to put Drew McIntyre on his own right now, there's really no other place for Drew McIntyre to go than a championship. And if he's paired with Ziggler right now for the time being, when the time is right, they're going to break him away from Ziggler, and they're going to have Drew McIntyre possibly in a Universal Championship feud by the beginning of 2019. So, Drew McIntyre, I do not mind him being paired with Dolph Ziggler. Matter of fact, I've been loving the pairing. So, hopefully, Drew McIntyre gets into the swing of things and gets his big moment at the beginning of 2019. I would love to see him versus Rollins for the Universal Championship next year at WrestleMania. That would be a damn good match. My next report comes from Cage Side Seats, and they acknowledge the fact that the AT&T Arena have been, or not the AT&T Arena, the AT&T Center, excuse me, but the AT&T Center has been advertising for AJ Styles vs. Samoa Joe at Hell in a Cell for the WWE Championship, and now Cage Side Seats has acknowledged it, and it has reported that it could very well happen, which I have no problem with. I would love to see AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship at Hell in a Cell. That would be a great Hell in a Cell match, and a great way to give Samoa Joe his first WWE Championship. And my final report also comes from Cage Side Seats, and I wish I was ending the Lightning Flash update on a bit more of a positive, but I'm not, unfortunately. I have to report this because it's even becoming even more pathetic. Cage Side Seats reported that WWE is currently trying to book Roman Reigns like a cool heel in hopes that he would get cheered like a babyface. Now, I don't know if Reigns is being portrayed like a true heel, because, remember, heels don't come off cool when they are booked that way. Heels come off cool naturally. And I don't think WWE knows what it really means to be a cool heel. I don't really know. I don't really know if WWE knows that certain heels like Kevin Owens, certain heels like Sami Zayn, certain heels like Adam Cole, those are cool heels. And it's not because they are booked that way. They're booked like annoying heels. They're booked like cocky, arrogant, dick-like heels. But they come off as cool organically because the crowd appreciate their work. You really think the crowd is going to appreciate Roman's work if you don't have him go full throttle as a heel? If he's going to be booked as a heel, that's fine. That's fine. But that's only part of what they need to do to fix this guy's career. Second part is they need to take him down to the mid-card. Because Roman Reigns right now, he's not worthy of the main event scene. He hasn't been worthy of the main event scene in 4 years. But instead, he main events WrestleMania. He has 3 world title wins. He's beaten some of the biggest superstars in the company, like The Undertaker, Triple H, Randy Orton, and John Cena. He's a Grand Slam champion, and his career isn't even 8 years old. His career isn't even 9 years old. But yet, he has all these accolades. Does he deserve them? No. No, he doesn't. He hasn't done anything to prove to me that he deserves to be at the top of the food chain. But they need to book him like a true heel and have him beat up on the lovable baby faces of Monday Night Raw. They need to have him go the coward route. They need to have him go the dominant heel route and have him beat up on good baby faces like Balor, like Rollins. And they need to have him continue to do that. Build a reputation for himself. Drop down to the mid-card. Take some time. And then maybe next year would be the right time to insert him back into the main event scene, and you can have a heel Roman versus a babyface Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship down the line. Excuse me. And ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I'd like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video live. Do not forget to check out the special edition Storm stream with Devin Crawley that happened on Tuesday. Do not forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at TheDJStorms. Do not forget to check out the Lightning Flash update next week and the rundown for WWE Extreme Rules next week. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash update, and you have a great weekend.